What's going on YouTube? What's going on Facebook? Big Dog Brett. I wanted to make a video for you guys on the Alliance of American Football. And for you guys who don't know, that is a brand new pro league that's coming the week after the Super Bowl. But there are some things you need to know, because if you tune in and you just start watching, you may get a little confused as to what's going on. So there's 12 weeks, there's 8 teams, and I'll run through the team list here real quick just so you know who the teams are. Let me back up again. One more time. I've been researching this and watching videos and trying to get all the information that I can get for you guys. So here's the teams. The Arizona Hotshots, the Atlanta Legends, the Birmingham Iron, obviously probably because of the Iron Bowl, probably some reference there. Memphis Express, the Orlando Apollos, Sunshine State, the Salt Lake Stallions, the San Antonio Commanders, and the San Diego Fleet. All these names are these names are awesome. There's no correlation between these teams and any other team that I can find. I mean, the Legends, maybe the Stallions, some high school football team. The Commanders, I guess the closest you could get would be the Commodores, but it's not like they're all original names for the most part. So I really like that. That means the league's kind of going to stand on its own. So when you start talking about it, if you say the Dogs, most people are going to consider that you're talking about University of Georgia. But there's also the Sanford Bulldogs and the Mississippi State Bulldogs. I mean, there's Bulldogs all over the place. Same thing with the Tigers. I mean, so it's nice that they're going to have names that are completely different. As far as the team's actually been started by a couple of pros. You guys can go pull a wiki on that. One of them's a Hall of Famer, and they both had a lot of experience in pro football. Looks like the project's really only been going for about 10 months, but I don't believe that. I think that it's probably been in the works for a little bit longer. The awesome thing is that it's going to come along right after the Super Bowl. So 1 week after the Super Bowl, you guys are going to see that following Saturday is going to be the very first game that's played for the AAF, the Alliance of American Football. And it's going to be played on a Saturday, 12 weeks long. So it's going to fill in a huge gap in the offseason for a lot of those of us that are huge football fans. So I'm really excited about that. Also, they've tried to incorporate local talent. So, for instance, the quarterback for the Atlanta Legends is going to be Aaron Murray, which I'm super excited about, being a huge Dogs fan. It's going to be nice to see him on the field again. He didn't really get a whole lot of play time. I think he played for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think he was at the Eagles at one point, and I even think maybe the Cardinals, but I'm not sure. It's just, whatever. Cardinals, and I don't know if that's right or not. So anyway, let me get into some of the differences in the rules. So it's got a twist, and it's kind of cool. So one of the biggest things for me that I like so far is that they are saying that it will have 60% less commercials. And there's no TV timeouts. And it's going to have a 30-second play clock. So that means the game's going to be more up paced. Now, the developers, the guys that are responsible for this, are saying that they want the teams, they want this whole sport to be more fan oriented. They want the fans to be involved, which is smart, because if it's just a carbon copy of the NFL, they're probably not going to get the kind of fans that they want to get, but they have to stay close enough to NFL style football to get a following, because in my opinion, the Arena League, the Indoor League, those things, the XFL, they didn't fare well. So I think that this is going to be an opportunity for them to if done smartly, this will be a monster. So let's get into a little more things. Now, some of the rules that are different, you're gonna say, oh, what time is kickoff? There's no kickoff. What? There's no kickoff? There's no kickoff. So one of the other things that they're doing is they're focusing on player safety, which is super important. Player safety is going to be one of the keys that they look at, because there's obviously been a lot of scrutiny recently about the amount of injuries that NFL-style players are taking. And guess what? Guess when a lot of those happen? That's right, on kickoff. So they're removing that aspect from the game. There's no kickoff. Now, if you want an onside kick opportunity, you get that. You can choose every single time that you're supposed to kick off. You can start on your own 35-yard line and it's 4th and 10. It's dangerous. It's dangerous, but so is an onside kick. Now, here's the other cool part. You ready for this? You score a touchdown. You have a choice. You can go for 2, or you can go for 2. You can't, there's no PAT. And the reason that they've done this is because they've done their research and they found out that the PAT is kind of nobody really cares. Even though they have backed, the NFL has backed the PAT up to try to make it more exciting, still nobody really seems to care. So they're making teams go for 2, which I like. So this is really going to show, a difference in the team as far as who's really the better team. Because if you score 3 touchdowns, the other team scores 3 touchdowns, yes, you both scored 3 touchdowns. But if you're better at 2-point conversions than they are, that's huge. PATs are rarely missed, so not a big deal. Now, they're also going to provide these guys with ways to go to get scholarships, to get additional training, so that once they get done with football, they have a way to make a living again. I don't know what the pay scales are going to be for these guys, but I'd have to imagine it's a pretty decent amount of money. It's probably nowhere near what the NFL is paying, but it's probably a pretty decent amount of money. So a lot fewer. Oh, I almost forgot. Hey, by the way, for those of you who really love the fantasy football league, they're going to have that involved as well. So you can keep doing your fantasy football with the AAF. That's awesome. I imagine there's going to be for those of you who like to bet the games, there's going to be, that's going to be available. The bookies and all that stuff is going to be available for these games. So that's going to be there. There was something else I wanted to go over. What was it? Doggone. There's just so much. Good night. It'll come to me in a minute. The other cool thing I think is that with the addition of the fantasy football league, they're going to keep that fan base going right after college football. So you're probably going to see a pretty quick uptick. The important part of all of this to me is that I'm not going to spend 5 months, 6 months, 7 months dragging my head waiting for college football to start again. This is an excellent opportunity for players to get a second chance, get back in the league, get playing again, and give them a second shot at a career. Oh, by the way, one of the other things is that also in AFF, they have the one toe touch for a catch rule. I found that. So in pro, you got to have 2 feet. In college, you got to have 1. Well, in AAF, you only have to have 1 foot. I like that rule. I think that's important. I think if you're in bounds, you're in bounds. Whether it's a hand, it's a foot. I also think if you're out of bounds, if it's a hand, it's a foot, you're out of bounds. That's the way that is to me. So if I can touch inbounds and I have the football, I think that's inbounds. I don't think you should have to have 2 feet. Anyway, now there are some players that have made a great living on being able to get 2 feet down. Mr. Toe Tap. If you guys want to look him up, there's a really cool article on him. But anyway, I digress. I'm just so excited, dude. It won't be long now. So here's the other cool part. Tickets are extremely affordable. They're probably some of the cheapest professional entertainment tickets you're going to find anywhere. Across this league right now, I'm finding tickets for $20 on their site. $20. So if you and a buddy wants to go, it's $40. That's cheap. Get up and go watch these games. I would imagine in a couple of years, this thing is probably gonna be selling out everywhere. I think the Georgia one is played at GSU University. Arizona, I think it's at Sun Devil Stadium. So I mean, they're nice. I won't say super nice, but they're nice arenas. They're not the Superdome. They're not places like Mile High Stadium, but they're nice arenas. So anyway, looking at what's going to happen in the future, this is going to be an up-paced game. It's going to be a fast game. They're going to try and keep it exciting. They've got a few rule changes. I just think it's a great idea. So, well, that's it for now, guys. I'm probably going to do another video on this. Obviously, I'm going to do the Super Bowl. If you've made it this far, hit like and subscribe and share. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks again. Also, please go over and check out Volunteer Roadshow. Give him your support. Thumbs up that guy. He's a great guy. He's helped me with my channel. Really appreciate his help. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it. Have a great day. God bless. Go Dogs.